Hi guys, would you like to know how to write the very best scholarship motivation letter? You need to win a scholarship, but you don't know how can I write that letter that they will just see and they will give you the scholarship. If you're this kind of a person or you know someone who is interested in this information, stay tuned to this video. So I'm going to show you practically. I'll mostly be concentrating on the content, but it's also important to know that your scholarship letter has to be very well arranged, neat, well organized, and so you always have to start with a certain template. You can go online and look for various forms of templates that you can use, but a basic one is this that I'm going to show you. So you start with your name. For example, you can say Metrin Buisa, your postal address, PO box if you're in Kenya or whichever street and everything, and your email address. This is important because they're able to know where you're writing from and how they can contact you. Then on the right side, skip a line and you can write the place if you are in Nairobi and the date which you're writing this letter. Then of course, this is the address of the institution you are applying to. If you are applying to University of Nairobi, or you're applying to Technical University of Munich, you write here the address of the school. If you don't know the address, go online on Google and find out the address so that you can write it there. Then of course, come back to the left and write the subject of your motivation letter. If it's motivation letter in application for PhD, master, study, or any title that is relevant to your letter. And then you can write Dear Selection Committee, Dear Sir, or Dear Madam, or Dear, whichever form of salutation you can use, but Selection Committee can also work generally. So the important part is how you now come to write your motivation letter. Like I said, paragraph, put it in paragraphs, well-arranged paragraphs, as you can see. Of course, you don't have to indent it like this. There are different ways of writing paragraphs. You can either skip a line and start from the beginning. Those are some of those basic rules that we all know from school, or you can check online. Yeah, but the important thing is that your work is supposed to be paragraphed, and each paragraph should have a complete point. If you are talking about yourself, like I studied here, blah blah blah, the studies, it should be in one paragraph. If you are talking about I worked here, it should be in one paragraph. In case you have a lot of details, and if it's all going to be in one paragraph, the paragraph will be very long. You can split it into 2 paragraphs, but make sure you finish a certain point in one paragraph and start a new point in the other paragraph. For example, you say my primary school and my high school and my bachelor's was in this university. I learned this. That can go to one paragraph. And then the next paragraph, you do like your master's and your PhD or something like that. The second thing to note is that if they have told you write up to 3 pages, please do not exceed 3 pages. Like you can see in this particular application, the rule was 3 pages. So make sure you write less than 3. You can write 1, you can write 2, or you can write 3. Don't pass 3. And it doesn't mean that if they say 3 and you don't have points to fill up the 3rd page, you now just keep writing until it gets to the 3rd page. That's not the point. Usually it's supposed to limit you so that you only give the important and relevant points up to the 3rd page. So okay, let's now go into the content. It's very good to start by introducing yourself, okay? Introduce yourself and tell them how you learned about this opportunity, where you got this opportunity, and why you think that you're eligible to apply, even before you start into the details about yourself. If you read this, for example, I said, I'm delighted to apply for a research position with, you put the university. So it can be, I'm delighted, or I am happy, or I'm pleased to apply for master's scholarship, an Erasmus Mundus master's scholarship, okay? Then why are you interested in applying to them, okay? Maybe just be creative and think outside the box and write why you think that you want to apply with them. Is it because the school stands out? Is it because this scholarship is a good opportunity? So you can say something like, the interdisciplinary approach of this consortium in providing future solutions for energy and environment is of great interest to me. Okay, so tell them why and what is interesting you in that scholarship, and how you or your academic and your professional experience is related to whatever you are applying for. So always remember the first paragraph is supposed to be a sort of an introduction of how you learned about this scholarship or what is interesting to you and how is it relatable to your application. Then go further depending on what they have told you, because like I said, they will tell you write about A, B, C, D. So depending on what they want you to write, arrange it into very nice paragraphs and then go to write it. So the second paragraph, go deeper into introducing yourself or telling them more about you based on what they have asked. Maybe you can say, I speak English and French. I have a Master of Science in this. I have a bachelor in that. What did you learn in your master's or in your bachelor's? So you kind of expound more about your experience or your education. Okay, so as you can see, these two paragraphs, I could have gone on and on talking about my master's in this one paragraph, but it will be too long. So you go and divide it into two. You say, okay, I've talked about my master's, I've introduced it. Then in the next paragraph, you now start telling them, during my master's studies, I moved from here to here, I did this, I learned that. You see, so these are two neatly broken paragraphs, so that it's one continuous point, but it's two little points within those two paragraphs. And then, of course, then you break it again, you go and now talk about your studies. So usually what happens when you're talking about your experience, you start with what you are doing now, then going backwards. The same way you write a CV, you say, now I am working as a manager and so and so. 3 years before I did this, 10 years before I did that. So you write going backwards. Same with education, you write going backwards. I have a master in science, I did a bachelor in this, I was in this high school. Okay, yeah. Then after telling them about yourself, now you go to answer about them. Like maybe they've said they're looking for someone who can do this, this and this and this, or they're offering this and this and this. So you have to tell them more about why you think you fit into this program. Okay, you are interested in what? Most of the time they say, if it's for example a grant, they have 3 or 4 topics that they want you to carry out a research on. So you are supposed to pick maybe one of those topics. So after you've introduced yourself, you've talked about your qualifications, your experience and all those things, you now come and tell them, I want or I'm interested in this topic, and this is how I am going to contribute to it. Then you say, okay, I do this and I'll do that. I have experience in this, so I'm going to help you sort that out, So basically, I just blurred because it's not important for you to know what I was writing. But in a nutshell, that is it. And remember, if it's too long, break it down. Always break it down into readable and well-arranged paragraph. Then, after telling them about how you are relating to whatever they are offering, then what are your goals? If they give you this opportunity, how is it going to help you in your future? Maybe your future goals, maybe your future career goals, or how is it going to help you bridge a gap between your current situation and your future situation? Okay? So again, tell them in a paragraph why and how it's going to help you to achieve your future goals. Then don't forget to tell them, apart from careers, because this is about school, what else interests you in life. They usually want someone who is an all-rounded person, who you're good in careers, you're good in your social life, you have some hobbies, you maybe do some sports, you do some community work. So always before you finish writing, remember to say, apart from my profession, I love traveling, writing blogs, making videos. I believe in, just write about yourself, and be sure to write something that is true and something that you truly like. Because if they're going to call you for an interview and they ask you about something you wrote and you can't explain it, it's going to be very embarrassing and you will not be able to win that scholarship. So always ensure that you write something that is true and it relates to you. And by the way, if you are blogging or you're writing articles or you have publications, this is a perfect opportunity to put links to the work that you have done, because once they see those links, they can read your articles or they can read your content and they'll be like, wow, this person actually has done a good job. We can offer them this scholarship. And before you pen off, okay, you have to assure them again. Always finish your application, your motivation letter by assuring them that I'm very sure I am the best candidate. I'm all-rounded. And I will offer this and this and this to your university. Always they want someone who will offer them something. They're not just giving you a scholarship because there's a lot of money to give, but they also want you to give them something, okay? Maybe they like your achievement, they like your experience, or they like your dreams for the future. So you have to tell them, in turn, I will be a useful asset in this initiative. In turn, I will make sure that you achieve this and this and this mission. So also it's important that you read through the websites of these institutions, find out what do they do, what is their mission, what kind of goals do they have, and then you can always refer and say, I'm going to help you in this and this manner so that you can achieve your goals. And don't forget to thank them. Thank them always. Thank you for your consideration, or any other way. Thank them for giving you an opportunity to write. At the end of the letter, you write your name and you sign below your name, and that's it. So after you are done with this letter, you definitely have to send it to someone, either a friend or someone who is good in writing, to see maybe there's some mistakes that you have done but you don't know. Usually it's very good when someone has goes through it, because they're able to see things that you haven't seen. I have done a very nice article telling you step by step the important things that you should take care of when writing a motivation letter. So after this video, make sure you go to the link that I have posted and read that article. So guys, did you find it informative? If you did, make sure you check out the article I told you about, because this article even has much more points than what I have told you. Yeah, and tell your friends, share it with your friends who are applying for scholarships, because this is very important information. I have used it before, it has worked for me, and I believe it can work for you. Okay, make sure you also subscribe for other very important tips about scholarships and any other thing that we will bring you in this channel. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see you in the next one. Bye bye.